Welcome back to Morgan's video blog, Morgan's online blog in video format. Today, I'm here to talk to you about when an idea breaks your manuscript. 4 ways to fix it. I am a huge fan of serendipity. That moment when you realize something about your world or your character or your setting that makes what you've been planning and your story seem inevitable. This post is not about that. This is about when you realize everything is wrong. Sometimes it's a huge plot hole when you realize what you had planned for just isn't gonna work, and gotta change it. Other times you think of something better to improve your characters or your plot or your pacing. Or maybe you're a pantser and, something just came out of the blue and now you have to set it up properly. Well, in all of these cases, there are, of course, several approaches to this. Why? Because we're writers and none of us do the same thing the same way. Sometimes we don't even do it the same way twice ourselves. So, without further ado, let's talk about the 4 ways an author can handle an unexpected realization that ruins everything they've written so far. I swear, this isn't that dark of a post. Option 1, obviously, ignore the idea. Maybe you're a planner and this wasn't in your outline. Therefore, you will ignore it and write the story as planned. Perhaps you're a pantser and the idea will just take far too much effort to work in. Sometimes it's a brilliant idea, but that's not the story you wanted to tell. In any case, if you don't make the change, you don't have to do the work. Just barrel ahead and leave things as is. Assuming, of course, we're not talking about a big, massive plot hole. Nobody likes those. So, caveat. Many writers have found that when they have an idea that strikes the right chord for their story, ignoring it will cause their story to actually fight them. Either the words stop coming or that dang story idea just keeps trying to work itself in at every opportunity. So, let's talk about option 2. Make a note and ignore it. If you are writing away, a big change like this could derail your momentum, or maybe you just hate switching between editing and writing modes. Either way, some people just make a note and keep on writing. Where do they make this note? I don't know. Wherever makes sense to them. It could be in an actual physical notebook. It could be in a draft email to themselves, in the margins of, I don't know, a printed out page, I guess, if you print each chapter as it comes out or something. Or most of us in the margins of an electronic document, highlight, add note, or whatever Scrivener does. No matter where the idea or the note is put down, the idea is that it'll remind the writer of the edits or revisions to come, and that way they can move forward with this story without having it niggling in the back of their head. But without knowing the details of the setup of whatever it is, it can be complicated to just start writing as if that note had been true for the entire story. Thus, some writers will actually keep writing with the wrong details so that when they come back to revise, the changes can be made smoothly and congruently. On the flip side, option 3, make a note and then immediately incorporate it. You're still writing away, you're not really breaking your momentum, right? You added your notes so you know where to edit up to, and now you just make the change and move forward as though you'd always intended your world or story or whatever to be that way. I've found that details are often less intrusive than one might think, so making even what seems like a huge fix doesn't actually do that much work, and fixing that detail and reviewing what you had might re-energize your writing. Or it might bog you down. Here's the caveat. Some writers, once they start editing, need to fix everything. Thus, if your goal is to get your rough draft finished, you might end up stuck in editing hell, doomed to keep thinking of new things to fix and never actually moving forward on your manuscript. Only you can know if you'll be pulled into that trap. And our final option, number 4, drumroll please, rewrite the whole thing. Rewrite. Sometimes your idea is just so novel, so pivotal to the story. There is only one option if you want to see it play out properly. Throw out the entire manuscript or save it to your drafts folder and open a new document. Never, ever, ever throw out a manuscript and start from the beginning again. Now, obviously, feel free to steal without reservations lines, scenes, chapters from the original, but make sure everything is reworked and made fresh. Sure, it might be a lot of work, and some writers struggle with writing, especially if they feel like they've already written this scene, but sometimes it's the only path forward. Writing a manuscript is hard work. It takes time, effort, and creativity. Hopefully, with these 4 options, you can find yourself a game plan next time your drafting runs off the rails. Let me know in the comments below if there are any options that I missed, and have you ever had to use one of these 4 or whatever options you've used to get a manuscript back on track. Thanks for tuning in, and join in again next week for more writing tips and writerly musings. Bye-bye.